3rd Infantry Regiment, Company E. This unit was stationed here at Fort Mackinac alongside Company K from 1884 till 1890. Now, during this point, Fort Mackinac's main purpose was not to protect Michigan from invasion from Canada, really, as this is a very peaceful post. In fact, Fort Mackinac's main purpose by this point was to run the Mackinac Island National Park. It was about as peaceful as you could feasibly get, while still being in the nation. So, with that being said, this was still an active garrison. These men were still active, engaging in various forms of training, doing drills here in the parade grounds, doing fatigue duty, maintaining the post itself, having guard details every single day. But also, by this point, they were engaging in rifle practice at least 2 times per week during the rifle firing season. Now, the reason why this is so important is before this time period, it was a pretty common affair for most posts to simply practice very little, if at all. There's examples of American posts well before this time period that simply viewed practicing weapons to be not so important. It's not really due to any bad tactics or bad thinking. It's more of the weaponry and ammunition being used in those time periods. Notably, reports that are as isolated as Fort Mackinac, especially getting shipments of ammunition, let's say for regular musket practice back when this was first being built, would not have been that frequent. We'll call it like that. Especially with the weapons being used in the early days, things like smooth bore muskets, weapons that you air open a cartridge up and down the muzzle and ram down a projectile. They take quite a long time to load. They're also quite inaccurate. These smooth bore muskets only feasibly hit a man-sized target effectively at 80 to 100 yards. Anything beyond that, and the rate of hitting drops off quite exponentially. And because of this, and because weapons take so long to load, the main focus was just learning how to load quickly, as opposed to hitting every shot you fire. And once again, you're probably not going to. Which is also why you have men in those nice long lines of old muskets standing shoulder to shoulder, blasting away at the same target at the same time. So it's the most effective way to use smooth bore muskets and even weapons similar to those on a mass scale. Now, by about the 1850s, rifle muskets and the guns that actually have the grooves in the barrel are becoming much more common with regular Army units. And by this point, if they were actually engaging in rifle practice, those men with their rifle muskets could have been able to hit targets my size 300 to 500 yards. Now, once again, that wasn't always the case, but that was kind of seen as the maximum effective range of most rifle muskets when they trained with them. With your key word, when they did. Now, after the American Civil War, which is pretty much the largest usage of these rifle muskets in history, the immediate aftermath of that conflict sees the U.S. Army trying to find ways to modernize, to kind of better outfit the soldiers in kind of the same guise as various armies across the pond over in Europe were doing at the exact same time. And that is taking existing muskets and turning them into what are called breech-loading rifles. Now, we would do this from 1865 until 1870.